Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Disabled Reality. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a very interesting topic for today's show. But before I get into that, I want to say that I'm redoing this show, Disabled Reality, that I hosted on Friday, June 21st, because it was brought to my attention that there was technical difficulties with my show that I did on that day. So I'm just redoing that show over again now. So let's get right into the today's show's topic, in which it is New York City HRA workers crying when they get caught committing illegal acts. Now they've been doing this for decades, ladies and gentlemen, and they have great jobs, they got great benefits, they got good pay and stuff, and they commit all these sorts of illegal acts, from stealing from the consumers to screwing up the consumers' caseloads, their cases and stuff. And they say, well, um, we have every little workers and we got so many clients and blah, 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 blah. You do all these sort of excuses and crying and stuff like that. And keep in mind, these workers, these HRA workers, these New York City HRA workers are also unionized. So what does that mean? Why is that important to say? I'll tell you. It's because these people hardly ever get fired. They hardly ever get fired. It's hard to fire them. If they get caught let's say, screwing up a person's case, what happens to them? They just get placed into another part of the agency, like a different department and stuff like that throughout the agency. Now, there was one time a few years ago that some HRA workers got caught committing real illegal acts, really big illegal acts. They were caught stealing a ton of money. So of course they got arrested and then fired and stuff like that. Yeah. So, um, but it's enough for feeling bad for these HRA workers, because you know something? They sure as hell don't feel bad for the consumers whose cases they screw up, you know? And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to use myself as an example. They screwed up one of my cases, and I've been fighting with them and fighting with them and fighting with them and trying to resolve things amicably and peacefully. But they kept screwing up and screwing up and screwing up and screwing up and screwing up. And now I'm taking them to court. And when I filed for the hearing, aside from submitting the paperwork requesting a fair hearing, I submitted the evidence for my case. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, I named names and stuff, and these HRA workers have a tremendous amount of explaining to do. A tremendous amount. Oh, yeah. It does not look good for them at all. And one thing that HRA workers hate is an intelligent consumer. They hate an intelligent consumer. They hate a consumer that stands up for themselves. They hate it. These HRA workers hate that. And the New York City mayor's office lets these HRA workers, because they're New York City workers, they let these New York City HRA workers get away with uh, committing these illegal acts of screwing up people's cases. They let them get away with it. They do nothing to reprimand these HRA workers. And we need to go back to the days of, if you do not do your job, then you do not have a job. And like I said, these HRA workers, these New York City HRA workers, they're unionized. The mayor's office needs to say to them, aside from if you don't do your job, if you don't do your job, then you don't have a job. Well, then you can run to your union representatives. You can cry to them. It don't matter because I'll fight against your union reps, and you will be reprimanded properly. He needs to do that. Seriously. His office gives all these kudos and everything to the HRE workers and stuff and whatever. He got all the kudos and stuff. And now it's time to even things out and say, listen, if you do not do your job, then you do not have a job. Plain and simple. And then these HRE workers go, oh, now I can't feed my kids and blah, 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 blah. Well, too bad. Too bad. If you didn't screw up the way you did, you wouldn't have to worry about losing your job and not being able to feed your kids and stuff like that. You know? Can't feel bad for these HRE workers anymore. You can't feel bad for them. You gotta stand up to them. They gotta be properly reprimanded and stuff. Seriously. You know? So, but anyways, I wanted to remind all my fans out there about my website, Advocate Information Highway, and the link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that is AIHNY.com. And you guys could check out all the pages on there. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.